Introduction range of business structures. In this section, we discuss of the following business structures. First, sole proprietorship. Second, partnership. Third, companies. And fourth is collection investment scheme. 1.2 is sole proprietorship, which is basically a sole proprietorship is a type of business organizations where the business is owned by one person only. 1.3 is a partnership. Two or more persons may carry on business together under partnership agreement. In Malaysia, a partnership is defined under the Partnership Act 1961 as the relationship which subsists between persons carrying on business in common with a view of profit. 1.4, which is company. In Malaysia, companies are incorporated under and governed by the Companies Act. A foreign company, a company which is formed outside Malaysia, and body which does not have its head office or principal place of business in Malaysia, which is carries on a business or has a place of business in Malaysia, is also regulated by the Companies Act. Here are the characteristics of companies. First is it has a legal identifier of its own separate from its member. Second, its members generally have limited liability for its debt and obligations. The third one is it can own property, has the capacity to enter into contracts and sue on these contracts. And the last one is it has perpetual succession unless liquidated. 1.5 is talking about collective investment schemes. A collective investment scheme is a business structure which involves the collective of funds from several investors with the same investment objective and then putting these funds into the investments. These types of investment vehicles are suitable for those who have little or no time to manage their own investment portfolios, or for those who are new to stock market investment. A collective investment scheme is generally similar to mutual funds. I will explain about unit trusts. Unit trusts are a form of a collective investment scheme. Unit trusts allow investors to pool their funds to be invested in a portfolio of security or asset classes in accordance with stated investment objectives. Unit holders do not own the security in the portfolio directly, and ownership of the funds is divided into units of entitlement. As the funds increase or decrease in value, the value of each unit increases or decreases accordingly. The trustee's role, therefore, is to act as custodian of the fund and to safeguard the interests of unit holders. The role of management company is to carry out the administrations of the fund and in most cases the management of the portfolio of investment. Closed-end funds. A closed-end fund is an investment fund with a limited number of units of securities in issue and has a limited offer period. A closed-end fund must appoint either a fund manager or a designated person if the investments are internally managed to manage the fund. The security company must approve both of the fund manager and designated person, a custodian, a Malaysian public limited company independent of the fund manager. Approved by the security company must also be appointed to hold or ensure the safekeeping of the investments of the fund. The security company is responsible for the regulations of closed-end funds and has issued the guidelines for public offering of closed-end funds. A closed-end fund can offer securities by off and issue, offer for sale or private placement. A real estate investment trust is specifically invests its fund in real estate. Real estate investment invests in real property and provide an opportunity to investors with limited means to invest.
The Capital Market and Service Act (CMSA) provides the security company is responsible for regulating all matters relating to unit trust schemes, which include real estate investments. The security company has issued a set of guidelines with the objective of providing a regulatory framework that will protect the interests of the investing public and facilities and orderly development of the real estate investment industry, which includes the guidelines of real estate investment trust. Exchange Trade Funds (ETF). An ETF is an open-ended investment fund that comprises a portfolio of security, equities, bonds, or other commodities. The main feature which distinguishes ETFs from other collective investment schemes, such as that of unit trust funds or real investment trusts, in that ETFs are designed to track the performance of an index in a particular market or sector. As an ETF is designed to track a designated index, investors will reap profits if the index goes up and incur losses if there is a downturn in the sector being tracked and offer for subscription or purchase of exchange-traded funds in Malaysia.
Now we will talk about companies. Background of companies. Company Act came into force in April 1966, and this Act provides the comprehensive legal framework governing companies in Malaysia. For companies to raise capital from investing public for large-scale enterprise and continue activity beyond one specific venture because shareholder liabilities is limited to the nominal value of the share. The constitution of a company is called its memorandum and article of association. Moving to liabilities and power, shareholders of an incorporated company have a limited liability for a company debt. A company can only be formed if it incorporated under Company Act. The power of company are dealt with Section 19 and 20 to the third schedule of the Company Act. There are some sections to note in particular. First, the power listed in third schedule will apply to a company unless the memorandum article of the company state that some or all of the listed power do not apply to that company or only apply as modified by the memorandum. Second, even though it is a long list of power in the third schedule, but it is not complete. A company can do things not contained in the list provided that it is carrying out the purpose which the company is formed to achieve, or it is doing something to aid in achieving the purpose of the company. Third, a company can provide power to the company which are in addition to those listed in the schedule in each memorandum or article. Last, for non-profit purpose company, it may be formed and registered under the Company Act without the word Berhad in its name. Such company require the approval of minister, and if approved, it is authorized by the minister by way of a license. Because power of company are limited, the legal doctrine of otherwise, which means beyond the power, was imposed on companies to protect creditors by ensuring the fund of the company were only employed for authorized activity. Any act done by company which was beyond the power or object of the company was invalid under the doctrine. However, this doctrine was largely negated by the ease which company can change their object and the liberal way the court have interpreted it. A transaction which beyond the power of the company will still valid in the circumstance set out in that section. Ultra-wise doctrine still apply in relation to First, the power of the other party to a transaction with a company to impugn it on the ground that it was beyond the power of the company. Second, the power of shareholder to apply for an injunction to restrain the company from entering into a transaction which will beyond its power. Third, the right of a company to recover from its officer compensation for loss suffered as a result of beyond power transaction which this officer have caused the company to enter into.
Is classification of companies. From business perspective, companies are usually classified based on the liability of its member or the type of memberships. Under the Contract Act, the company can be a company limited by shares, company limited by guarantee, and unlimited company. The first type of companies is a company limited by shares. The liability of each shareholder is limited to the amount unpaid on any share they hold. Once the shares are fully paid, shareholders has no further liability to the company or anyone dealing with the company. Companies limited by shares are the common company structure in Malaysia. It is important to note that the limited liability company is about the shareholders liability is limited, not the company liability is limited. A limited company must have the word Berhad or Berhad in simple form at the end of its name. Second type of company is company limited by guarantee. The liability of each member limit to the amount the member has guaranteed to contribute if the company has insufficient asset to pay its debt when it is owed. One feature that distinguishes in this type of company is members cannot be called on to contribute any capital while the company is a going concern, usually used by non-trading venture. In Section 14A, the Company Act, a company limited by guarantee cannot be formed with a share capital, but was possible for such company to be formed before the Companies Act 1985. The third type of company is unlimited company. The shareholders are jointly and individually liable without limit for the debt of the company. If the company is wound up, this structure will usually not be used for a trading venture and rarely to be used to hold properties and investment passively where liabilities to be incurred. Any unlimited company can convert to a limited company by complying with Section 25 of the Company Act. An unlimited private company must have the word sendirian or sendirian in simpler form at the end of its name. After a company has converted from unlimited company to limited company can be categorized as follows. First, private company. To be incurred as private company under the Company Act with certain restrictions must be contained in the Company Memorandum or Article Section 50, bracket 1A. Private company is appreciated where there is relatively small group of members, limit to not more than 50 members. Other restriction is the right to transfer its shares and the prohibition from inviting the public to subscribe for any shares of the company. Private company are divided into exempt and non-exempt categories. It is exempt private company if the shareholders less than 20 members who are all people and no company has direct or indirect beneficial interest in its shares. An exempt private company is excused from some of the requirement of Company Act. Second is unlisted public company. An unlisted public company is a public company where share is not listed for quotation on Bursa Security Berhad. Any company does not call as private company, not as public company. In a public company, there is no minimum number of members, and if public company wish to attract investment from public, it must be prepared to disclose detail of its operation for public examination. A public company limited by share may be listed with Bursa Malaysia Security Berhad. By listing in Bursa Malaysia Security Berhad, the company can freely trade it and must comply with all the listing requirement and policy of Bursa Malaysia Security Berhad. The benefit for company become public listing is an efficient and cost-effective way to raise funds from the expansion of the business operation as an alternative to borrowing from bank. A readily accessible market for the companies share greater visibility and higher profile, which will ultimately help stimulate growth in the company and attract new business enhancement of the company and credibility greater recognition, which puts the company in a better position to expand its operation overseas.
There are various types used to describe a company share capital. Nominal value, authorized capital, issue capital, paid up capital, and also uncalled capital. Nominal value, or known as par value, is the value each share has stated. Authorized capital of a company is the maximum amount of each share capital as stated in its memorandum.
Next, issued capital. The issued capital is that part of the authorized capital which has been issued or allotted to shareholders. Paid up capital. Company share may be allotted on a partly paid basis, which means that the shareholder do not pay the full nominal value of their share on allotment. The company can call up the unpaid capital at a later stage according to its financial needs. Uncalled capital. The balance between the amount already paid on shares and the total nominal value of the issued share, the amount which the company can still call upon shareholders to pay. That's all. Thank you. Najwa, can you explain to me about the Memorandum of Association?
Oh, Memorandum Association set out several things. Firstly, the name of the company, the object of the company, the amount of share capital which the company proposed to be registered, the full name, and also the details of the subscriber, which the subscriber are desirous of being formed into a company and agreed to take the number of shares in the capitals of companies set out opposite their respective needs. And the Memorandum of Association commonly identifies the object of the company and its power. It explains about the business which is formed to carry on or the purpose which the company is formed to achieve. The power and objects are usually expressed in a wide term to avoid the need to alter the memorandum by special resolution of the members each time the company changes direction. If the company acts beyond its power, the agreement which a company enters might be void. Every company must have a memorandum of association before it can incorporate it. The memorandum of the company might be altered by special resolution, and if it affects the object of the company, 21 days notice of resolution must be given to shareholder and all trustees of debenture holders.
Najwa, what about the Article of Association?
Oh, the Article of Association are the company's internal regulation and cover some matters such as the allotment of share, transfer of share, appointment of director, termination of director's term of office, director's powers and duties, conduct of meeting, declaration of dividend, and also use of the company's sale. It must be printed, divided into the numbered paragraph, and signed by every subscriber to the memorandum. The memorandum is the dominant part of the company's constitution, and the articles are interpreted subject to the memorandum.
If there is any conflict between the memorandum and the articles, the provision of memorandum will be relied upon. And Table A of the 4th schedules to the Act contains model article for a company limited by shares. A company can adopt Table A, modify it, or draft specifically if the model is not suitable for all the companies. And if any companies do not register articles, then Table A will be applied to the company. And a company can alter or add to its articles by special resolution.
Okay. What else must be done in order a company incorporate after the memorandum and the articles signed by the subscribers?
Okay. The company must lodge under Section 1 to 3 the consent from each director to act as the director of the company. After that, Commission of Malaysia (CCM) will issue a certificate of incorporation and the company is capable of transacting business as a separate legal entity. Upon incorporation, the CCM allocate to the company a company's number. In addition, after a company is incorporated, the company must have a registered office within Malaysia and must give CCM notice about its registered office in accordance with Section 120 of the Companies Act. And outside of the company registered office need to has the word pejabat yang didaftarkan and the name and number of the company must appear on the seal, letters, statement of account, invoice, official notice, check and all. Do you understand?
For now I understand. Thank you, Najwa.